From the Detroit Free Press, I'm Robin Chan with today's Voice Briefing. It's Thursday, May 1st, 2025.
I'm Frank Witzel with the Detroit Free Press. Mobile phones, once verboten in houses of worship, are being allowed in some as congregants increasingly turn to them to follow the scriptures, stay connected, and even digitally drop money in the collection plate. Take St. Peter Lutheran Church in Macomb. During this past Easter Sunday, the traditional wooden pews in the church's large auditorium overflowed with the devout and those who venture into services only once or twice a year. But instead of admonishing the members and guests to silence their phones, the pastors quietly welcomed and harnessed the technology with printed instructions on how the handheld devices can be used for good. There's a lot of different things you can do, Reverend Kurt Wenzelberger told the Free Press. I've even been part of a worship service where I've seen incorporated in the sermon an opportunity for people to text responses. Wenzelberger acknowledged he wasn't always so accepting of mobile phones and still has some reservations about it, but he's found that the technology can be quite useful and downright helpful. He's even, he said, on a rare occasion, preached off notes on his own iPhone. His approach embraces the convenient and constant connectivity phones offer, and St. Peter, especially since the pandemic, isn't the only church warming to mobile phones under the right circumstances, of course. At tiny churches, phones even come handy as hymnals and the music accompaniment for singing praises and lifting up joyful songs because there's no organ or choir. That's not to say there aren't sticklers for the old way of doing things, leaving your phone at home or in the car, tucking it in the purse or pocket, turning it off, and at the very least, putting it on silent or vibrate mode. And some metro churches, members have said, cell phones have created a culture clash between younger and older members who don't quite see eye to eye on whether the practice is good or not.
This is Natalie Davies with the Detroit Free Press. General Motors' Design Dome is often the stage of a dramatic reveal. It's typically a place for designers, executives, and members of the media anticipating the latest General Motors vehicle. But on Saturday, April 26th, the crowd included fashion enthusiasts, big brand executives, and member of Detroit's College for Creative Studies community who came for the college's 5th annual fashion show. 26 fashion design students showcased their latest designs incorporating everything from birds and violins to knit robots and highly stacked heels. The Dome in Warren welcomed viewers both close to home and from around the world, including representatives and recruiters from Louis Vuitton, Hermes, and Carhartt there to see the fresh talent. Read more about the show and how the fashion and auto industries are connected at freep.com.
Hey there, everybody. This is Omari Sankofa II, Pistons beat writer for the Detroit Free Press. On this week's episode of our podcast, The Pistons Post, Bryce Simon and I break down the Pistons' Game 5 win over the Knicks and what they need to do in Game 6. Here's a quick snippet of our conversation.
How about the defensive rebound totals? Cade actually leads this team in the playoffs in defensive rebounds with 37, Tobias 34, Duren 33, where Duren obviously makes the impact in total rebounds per game is what he does on the offensive end compared to Cade and Tobias. Amari, he's averaging 25, 8-6, 8-8, 3 stocks. The biggest thing is the turnovers. He's just under 6. So we know that's an area that he's still got to grow. And my thing is he isn't shooting the percentage that maybe you would want. He's at 43% from the field, 25% from 3, and he's still putting up 25.5 points a game without a true number 2. I thought it was funny today. Somebody talked about like the revolving door of the number 2 option with each game in this series. And it's kind of true. You want to guess how many guys are averaging double digits for the Pistons in the playoffs?
I would guess no more than 3.
7, but it's
close.
Wait,
really?
So here's the thing,
wow.
though.
So it's been that stretched out. Okay.
But here's the thing. Jalen Duren is right at 10. Asar is at 10.4, and that only came from the 22-point game in Game 5. Malik is at 12.8. Tim Hardaway Jr. is at 13, and Schroeder's at 13.2. So 5 of those 7 are between 10 and 13.2. Every game, it seems like it's been somebody different.
You can hear that full conversation in this week's episode of The Pistons Post, which is available wherever you listen to podcasts. And as always, you can find our latest coverage on freep.com/sports.
Find more from the Detroit Free Press on freep.com. That's FREEP.com. Thank you for listening, and you'll hear more from us tomorrow.